Pat, what's going on, buddy? Who you got there? Got an absolute living legend, it feels like, with you right there.
That's right, 6-time national champion, 2-time as a head coach, ladies and gentlemen, Kirby Smart.
What's up, fellas?
How are you, man? Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for the hospitality here. I'm at the Buttsmere Heritage Hall, right? And it's a sports admin here, which is on the facility, though, of your football offices as well, right?
That's
this whole
right.
area here is your guys'
It's an unbelievable view, man. I can't get over the view this guy's got, man. It's awesome. And it's a beautiful day, too.
It is a beautiful day. It's like a perfect day here in Athens. It's normally hotter than this, I would assume.
It's hot last time you were here.
Brother, I want to let you know, it changed my entire life. So I got
fair skin.
Yes, I'm very fair skinned, as you see. I got third, fourth degree burns on my face and arms here last year. Beautiful stadium. And now on Fridays, I don't know if you know that. Look up, brother. We will always have coverage.
Always in the shade.
We will always have coverage going forward. So thank you to your school for that. Now, let's thank you for your school for the hospitality to us here today, and also game day coming for a top 10 matchup.
Love it.
This feels like just normal for you. What is the message to the boys, and does it feel different this year versus last year? And I don't want to bring it up, but you already have a loss on the record. So does that change anything that you say to the boys, or how do you treat this particular weekend?
It's another weekend in the SEC, buddy. You better get ready, because you know what? There's another one waiting a week later. But for us, it's all about fast and free in this game. I want our guys to play loose, enjoy it, and go out and compete. But you know how these big games are. They're a dime a dozen. Lane's been texting me all week, so I had to put him on. I had to put him on mute.
What's that? He wants intel, you think? He wants to talk shit? He wants to soften you up a little bit? What do you think you guys, what is he trying to do whenever he's
I think he's worried about my figure, you know. I told him that's my wife's job, not his.
I heard that he talked about you not doing hot yoga. He's looked at you, judged a little bit. He's a brand new Lane, though, right?
Yeah, you know what? I'm all about self-deprecation. I'm good with it. I told him, my son got all upset when he said it, and Lane texted me and said, hey, I was just cutting up. I said, no, you're telling the truth. But sometimes the truth hurts.
No. You know? I think you look great, by the way.
Appreciate it. That's why we're black.
Well, hey, brother, you're not the only one, dude. That is the move. Lane, same guy on the field as he's always been, and then just off Lane, because there was even a documentary that came out about how he's changed his life. Do you see a difference from his team now versus what you maybe would have seen in the past with Lane Kiffin as the head coach over there?
Well, his team's always played just free and really well. I think he's done a great job. I think he's got better players, and I think he knows who he is better now. Like, he's done a great job. You watch him on the sideline. His management of game, like they've had 3 or 4 games that came down to the last possession. In every one of them, they just methodically move the ball, eat the clock, win the game in the fourth quarter. He's really good at managing these games, and we both have had extremely tight ball games.
So on that note, have you taught him how to clap with a timeout signal?
Absolutely not. I told him, he texted me, I said, do you read my lips? No human being ever calls a timeout where he's saying, they're clapping, they're clapping, they're clapping. And I'm repeatedly saying that with my lips. And he's like, I don't care about your lips.
Yeah, nobody cares about that, by the way.
Right.
Nobody cares about that. And until you just said that right there, I didn't know you were being 100% serious. You're being 100%
Read my lips.
Okay, so you're saying your body might have been doing
Read my lips. They're clapping, they're clapping, they're clapping, they're clapping. And I told Lane loves the joke.
You're being serious whenever you say that. I thought this was all you like talking shit because you got one over on people. You're saying no, actually.
In my brain, when I'm saying they're clapping, read my lips, read my lips. And I don't know any coach that ever has tried to call a timeout without saying the word timeout. That wasn't the case there. They're clapping, they're clapping, they're clapping. But either way, I'm going to tell you this. Lane has loved that. He thought it was going to be a good distraction Sunday and Monday, and then he did a great thing by coming out and just blowing me up for being a fat guy with his language, and he took all the attention off that. So my kids got to see it, my wife got to see it. So.
Well, I want to let your wife know and your kids know you look great in my eyes.
Thank you.
Okay,
you're a thick guy. You know, we're not like Lane. You know, Lane is a little more. You know, he's all about prima donna, and you know, he's a little cleaner.
It's quarterback.
He's
a quarterback. That is the exact thought. He's a quarterback, and also, if you're doing 6:30 a.m. hot yoga, I mean, your body's going to look better than ours. Like that is just.
I did try it once. I tried it a couple of times with some guys here locally. I struggled. I couldn't do it. But Lane swears by it. It's changed his life. I think it's put him in such a good mood, and he's done a fabulous job.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for you guys too. Obviously, you're both under the Saban tree. Everybody's going to talk about that. What do you think you gathered from the tree, and what about this team is similar to past teams of yours, and maybe different than past teams of yours?
Well, speaking of the Saban tree, I just walked out of a production meeting with him in there, and I realized that he's still in control of all that. Does he boss you around like he bosses us around.
Yes, absolutely. That is correct. Yeah, that is correct. Actually, there's a chance that we were on the phone with one of his former coaches as well during one of these meetings.
Yeah.
And that particular person does 6:30 a.m. hot yoga. And I was like, hold on, he's talking. And he was like, oh, this is what me and Kirby used to do.
Yeah.
Me and Kirby used to whisper while he was talking on the side of the meeting. It was like the good old
Let's be clear. He whispered. I was sitting there quiet saying, hey, can I move my seat? I sat next to Lane in the staff meeting for the couple years we were there, and I was like, Lane, please don't talk to me during the staff meeting. He goes, why are you so worried about talking during the staff meeting? I was like, it's disrespectful. I don't want to talk while he's talking. This guy didn't care. He just didn't know. I told him all the time. That's why he gets back at me now, Lane, because all those butt whoopings he used to get.
Okay, so let's talk about your team butt whoopings. You got a team that's normally just physically imposing on everybody. Do you feel that same intensity from this team in Aura? And what was the thing you do on Tuesdays? What's the thing you do on
Bloody Tuesdays.
Yes.
Yeah, we get after it. We have a physical team. Absolutely, we've got a physical team. But guess what? So does everybody in the SEC. So it's really about who can be physical in the moments that matter most. And we got an extremely tough team. We got a resilient team. If you watched our team this year, they're never going to quit. They're going to keep fighting. We need to play better at the start of games.
You got a tough quarterback.
Yes, we do. He is taking some shots, man.
The
and he
first time
bounces
I
up.
seen him, the first time we all saw him, he was just getting helicoptered, concussed, and it's like, yes. And his name's Gunner. It's like this guy
That's it.
seemingly perfect for football. Tell me why he's perfect for you and this team.
Because he kind of embodies this team's personality. Like, to see that guy get hit last week, zoom in and watch the hit he takes from the Auburn corner when he gets hit and how fast he pops up and runs back to the huddle. It'll give you goosebumps. It'll make you think, oh, my God, did you see that guy just get hit? And he's back up going to the huddle, and the rest of the team's like, oh, my gosh.
Motivates everybody.
Absolutely. They play harder for him.
How is he as a leader how do you feel about the team's chemistry, I guess, not just him, but how do you feel about the togetherness of the squad?
I love the togetherness of the squad. I mean, there's no questioning anything at the points of our season when it's been tough. Tough at Tennessee, tough at Auburn on the road. They bounce back. They don't let the scoreboard affect them, which I think is a really good quality to have. There's other good qualities to have, but that's a good quality to have.
I wasn't there for the Auburn one. The Tennessee game, 100 and whatever thousand. You guys just not supposed to win that game.
Keep shopping, man.
Brother, that was cool. I assume you enjoyed the hell out of that win, and what you just mentioned it right there. The resiliency that a coach has to see from his crew has to feel big. AJ, back in the Thunderdome, has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach,
What's up, AJ?
how you doing? You mentioned you got to start fast. You got to get out to a hot start. Like, obviously, every team wants to do that, but what can you do schematically or with the schedule to do? Are you going to dial up some blitzes on D offense? You want to, try to get some explosives down the field? Like, how do you get a fast start?
I think having a plan that you stick to and that you trust. We really did that on offense at Tennessee. We didn't necessarily do that on defense at Tennessee. Everybody wants to start fast. The media asks me every week, how are you going to start fast? I think the prep of that, I think playing looser, I think our guys not afraid to make a mistake allows them to play a little faster, and that's kind of the mantra we've took for this week is fast and free. We want to start fast, but we want to play free of worry.
You talk about starting fast. Your second halves have been dominant, especially on the defensive side. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, starting fast, but those second halves, you've given up 7 points in the second half over your last 3 games. And there's a famous quote from Peyton Manning where he was talking, and he's like, I've never even heard of a halftime adjustment. That's not something that's ever happens in football. Now, do you guys, why have the second halves on defense specifically been so good for you? Is it a halftime adjustment thing, or is it just adjusting to what the team's doing throughout the game?
I think it's settling down. That's why I go back to the beginning. Like, how do we play free of anxiety? Because I kind of agree with Peyton, guys. I mean, there's only so much you can do at the halftime. It's short, it's quick. You're not coming up with a new scheme or new players. I agree with what he says. Everybody's like, oh, man, y'all make great halftime adjustments. No, we just play better in the second half. We relax and go play. Why can't we do that at the start?
Well, I think getting the anxiety down, though, is what halftime coaching is all about. Now, let's talk about pregame coaching and maybe even halftime. I don't know where all those videos come from. We haven't seen them as of late. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, some of the best parts of college football are the pregame speeches that get leaked from your locker room, and I'm sure that probably pisses you off. But to be honest, it pisses me off that I haven't seen any this year or in recent memory. Did you tighten up the locker room? Did you tell everybody, like, hey, if I find a recording, it'll be Bloody Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? Or what happened there with the pregame speeches?
No, my son says they haven't been as good, so that's why they're not leaking. He says you become dull and boring in your old age. So we've wanned everybody before they come in now, and some people actually believe that, but it's not true. It just hasn't leaked.
Yeah, your speeches are epic, though. Still the same guy?
Still the same fire and passion. Maybe it'll go a little lower, and maybe we won't start with so much anxiety. So maybe it'll be a chill mode.
Okay, so do you have different gears in there?
Oh, you got to have different gears, man. You got to have different gears. I don't know which gears needed because some players need some gears and some players don't. Halftime, I've had to gear it up a couple times this year, and I think sometimes that helps, and sometimes you got to gear it down.
How much are you changing how you coach different generations of players? You've been around here now a long time. Expectations are to be great. We all just saw what happened at Penn State. I mean, shit, college football is a different animal. You created a lot of great times here, and I'm not saying anything would happen to you because you've won a national championship here and you are cemented in legacy forever. But you do have to evolve and change, right, with every single group. Is this different generation now than it was whenever you started, and how do you adjust to that?
Yeah, it's very different. It's completely different than it used to be. And people say, well, it's not different. You just treat them different. And I'm like, well, it is different because the players are transient. They can come and go. They have money that they're not used to having. And I'm so happy that they have those opportunities and they get a chance to make money. But the hardest thing for me to change is on the field standard, like practice. I cannot just let it go, right? So something irks me, something bothers me, a guy doesn't give effort, a guy doesn't thud, it's going to drive me nuts, and I want to confront and demand. And that can wear you down if it happens a lot. So the biggest thing is don't change your standard, but change maybe the treatment, how we do things, maybe not as long of practices. We've shortened those. We want to have high energy, fast, get after it. But at the same time, I'm not changing what the standard is in terms of how you practice.
I don't know how often you've said it. I know we haven't said it enough. You're a GOAT in college football, dude.
Appreciate it. I don't know about that.
You are.
I appreciate it.
You actually are, though. You're in real time, and you don't get talked about. Ty actually has a question for you, but that just hit me like, you're a GOAT, dude. Holy shit.
Goat's in there doing the stuff. He's the best that's ever done it. I learned from him.
No, of course so, but you are a GOAT. If it was to be over right now, you'd be considered one of the greatest of all time. Congratulations on that. That just hit me. I don't know how often you've thought about it. I should have thought about this before you came on the show. That'd be what a good host does.
Maybe then I can do some hot yoga. That would be good for me.
Maybe you get better. Yeah.
Maybe that's why you're the GOAT and he's not.
Could be.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Intrusive thoughts.
Good.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Goats do yoga, though. I see it on the internet. Ty has a question for you.
They do.
Goat.
You're a certified GOAT, Coach. You just mentioned, though, the SEC, how physical it is week to week and how good the conference is. Obviously, everybody knows that. There's kind of two schools of thought when it comes to it. It's like, hey, either, you're battle tested at the end of the season because you've played so many good teams, or, if it doesn't go the way you want it to, well, the league cannibalizes itself. Yeah, exactly. Do you lean towards, or coaches in general, I guess, across the SEC, do they lean towards either one of those ways? Like, sometimes it feel like that? Where, like, this year, you guys might get, 5 or 6 teams into the playoffs, but then there will be that conversation if someone doesn't win a national championship. Well, the league's too deep. They cannibalize themselves during the season.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's the agenda that the coach personally has. So if you end up not getting in, that's the case. If you're in and you lose, that's the case. I mean, everybody uses it how they want to, and that includes the SEC, and it includes the others. I think the greatest debate right now in all of college football is what you're talking about. The other conferences, or saying, oh, well, the SEC just has all these teams ranked, but they really don't deserve to be ranked, and they play each other, and they beat each other up. I don't think we'll ever know the truth. I always say, go poll the NFL scouts and get them to tell you where they're pulling from and then where they're drafting from, and those usually equal the best teams. Who has the most players drafted? We did when we won the national championship. Michigan did when they won the national championship. Ohio State did when they won the national championship. Just look at that, and that'll tell you where the best players and teams are. But we're not going to know until they start putting us all in there and they play a cross-conference like they do in basketball. I'd love to do one of those with another conference.
Are you ever – so that's a good question. Texas and Ohio State obviously kicked off this season, SEC, Big Ten. Michigan, Oklahoma happened. And refresh me if it has happened. Do you have any?
We had Clemson last year where we opened with them to start off,
and you pounded them. You remember that? Jesus. Do you remember what they did to Clemson?
Well, it was a tight ball game at half. But again, you go back and you look.
Good speech.
You look across the board, and that's one of Lane's biggest complaints. And Lane is very bright. And Lane's biggest concern is we're losing opportunities to play other conferences when we schedule 9 conference games. So that's the best reward any conference can get. There's less opportunities for me to play us to play other conferences, and the only way to measure conference to conference is that.
Modern world, 12-team playoff. Everybody said we should be getting bigger matchups on a regular basis. Obviously, we've had like a top 10 every single weekend. There's been one that kind of had an interesting slate. You keep going forward. Do you like where we're at with college football right now? Do you feel like, obviously it's a transition era. You've been around a long time. You're one of the GOATs. We talked about it.
Right.
But it does feel like we're in a transition era. But in this transition era, ratings are higher than they've ever been for the sport. The sport is hot right now.
Would they not be if it was 16 or 24 or 30 teams? I think they still would be. I think the ratings would still be higher. I think you'd have unbelievable playoffs. It's going to mimic the NFL when we get to having that many teams potentially in the playoffs, so you get better matchups for longer. Because these games at the end of the year are going to come down to essentially being play-in games. You're either in or you're out. I would love to see a bigger pool of teams make the playoff, because that's what all our fan bases want, is an opportunity to do that.
And also home field advantage, man.
Yeah,
A part of college football is the experience.
Atmosphere.
Yes. So then with
We
these
have two
games-
NFL analysts on our staff, okay, and they've been in the NFL for a while. They're with us now, and they're like, the difference in the crowd noise in day to day, it is night and day. Now, NFL playoff games, not so much, but NFL weekend games, it's not even close to what you're experiencing in these games.
But the tradition and the chants
right.
and everything like that, that is what college football is.
That's what you are. You're the one that brings it to life, because you go to campus and you get all these crazies. You got people taking shirts off and running around. Absolutely not. That's Dan only. So, I mean.
You didn't teach Dan that, Coach?
Absolutely
I thought
not.
that was gonna be
Dan got that from Lane. That's not me. That's not me.
Who's that coming down the track, or what's that coming down the track?
You got it, man.
Who is it? Is it who's or what?
You're supposed to know the answer to that. I know the answer to that. I grew up in Georgia. That's your job.
So, but is it who or what?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I think it's a generational problem you guys have. I do believe that.
Don't you guys me. I'm good. I'm in there. I know.
You want this, you got that. No way, watch them walk right past you. Run fast while you have the chance. Don't speak, let